the #1 diet to stay lean if you're a busy man? If you're an entrepreneur, you're a professional, you're a father, you've got a lot of responsibilities in your life, you need a nutritional solution that is going to be sustainable and practical so that you don't have to kick everything else to the curb. Am I right? And what most people do is completely wrong. They get super ambitious. They look at their gut. I got to lose this weight. I'm going to do it in 2 to 3 weeks. I'm a high achiever. Just throw whatever at me. I'll do it. And they get 2 to 3 weeks in. And it's too extreme. And I always say extremes lead to extreme disappointment. What I'm going to share is so super simple. I know I'm going to get a ton of questions, but what about the number of calories? But what about the macros? I don't know about you, but every time I have the idea of like, I'm going to start tracking everything, I get a couple meals in or a couple days in, I'm like, I'm too busy. And then I get discouraged. I say, that didn't work. Instead, what we're going to do today is we're going to build a simple structure, because structure equals freedom. And when you have a structure to how to eat, we can dial in the macros and the calories later, because I understand if you're busy, you're likely not going to bring a scale to the restaurant, although that'd be a great idea. And it would be great to use MyFitnessPal, but I understand, having done this for a long time, that most men just are not going to do those things. It's like trying to get a guy to eat a grilled chicken breast when he's eating 2 double cheeseburgers a day. You're better off just telling him to eat 1 double cheeseburger a day before getting him to eat the grilled chicken breast. So we have to understand that transformation happens in stages, all right? And while some people can go right to the extreme of counting calories, putting everything on a food scale, this video is for people who have a life. If you are busy, the majority of people, that's a big next step. I'm not saying that's not a good step, it's just a step way down the road. So I'm gonna break it down really simply. I've tried a lot of diets over the years with clients. I've coached tens of thousands of people since 2002 in the gym, in person, and online. So if we're not tracking calories and macros as an entry step to staying lean as a busy person, what are we tracking? We do need to track something, right? What gets measured gets managed. I definitely believe in that. We track portion sizes. We just make it super simple. So if you're making an omelet in the morning, if you're gonna do the whole carton, do the whole carton every morning. Don't do a half a carton one day, right? If you're having cottage cheese for mid-afternoon, don't eat like 3 tablespoons one day and then 9 tablespoons the next day. Just make sure, hey, I'm eating the whole carton. If you're having a steak at night, make sure you're eating the same size steak every night. Don't go to a restaurant and get a 22-ounce T-bone when you're normally eating a 6-ounce filet at your house. So standardize the portion sizes. If you're having rice, keep it 1 cup. If you're having oatmeal, keep it 1 cup. Just keep the portion sizes the same, because now you have a baseline to work from. That way we can make changes based on, hey, I just need to add a bit more or reduce a bit more, all right? Again, these are simple steps. I'm a big believer in making permanent changes, and I've just learned from making too drastic of changes too soon, it only creates a short-term change, and then people get discouraged. They feel like a failure. They think, I've already tried this before. They don't believe in themselves, all right? I've already tried this before, it didn't work. And it's just because you started something that was not sustainable. If it's not sustainable, it's not maintainable. So that's why we're starting with this approach before we start to look at calories and macros. You gotta get to that level. We're definitely moving in that direction, and that's what's gonna really take you to the next level. So the next tip we're gonna use to simplify your life and keep it lean is to standardize 2 separate meal plans, all right? We wanna have a non-training day and a training day meal plan, really simple. So on the non-training day, because we haven't put any fuel, we're gonna have proteins and fats, right? Fats are gonna maintain your hormones, keep you happy. Proteins are gonna preserve your muscle and help build muscle. Proteins and fats with veg, that's it on your non-training days. 4 meals, and we can have any type of protein source, and we can have really any kind of fat source. We wanna make sure it's standardized into amounts, typically a tablespoon on the fats, and typically 6 to 8 ounces on the protein sources. Your favorite protein sources, it really doesn't matter at this point. On the training days, that's when we're burning fuel in the gym, like you're driving the car, so you're emptying the tank, or you're about to go on a long drive, which would be the equivalent of a chest, back, or leg day, where we need extra fuel to get those extra reps to break down the muscle and to stay looking strong and muscular, right? So we can have carbs before the workout or after the workout or during the workout. I like to have 2 carb meals on our training days. So we're gonna have a total of 4 meals. 2 of those meals are gonna be with carbs. So if you work out in the evening, they're gonna be before your workout and after your workout. If you train in the morning, carbs are gonna be before your workout or after your workout. It's that simple. You can go with really any sources of carbs, but we want to ensure that we're having carbs that are going to fuel the workout. I like fast digesting carbs like white rice, cereal, before the workout, after the workout, something maybe a little slower like potatoes, oatmeal, okay? I like bananas as well, things that are easy to consume. That's how simple I keep it. I'll give you 2 more tips. For most people, once they've mastered this structure, then we can start putting things in MyFitnessPal. We can actually start seeing if the scale is moving in the direction that we want to optimize for, all right? But this is gonna get most people in the right direction toward the goals. If you're not, then we bring out the calculator, all right? 2 things to keep this diet really working for you. I'm a big believer in fasting. There's so many benefits to it. 1 day per week, if you fast just 1 day per week, it's gonna help with adherence to the diet, with mental clarity. It's gonna help you create a bigger deficit with anywhere you might have gone a little overboard throughout the week accidentally. It's just a great tool to keep your weight in check. 1 complete 24-hour fast per week. Now here's another one. This is a fun one. You can have 1 refeed meal per week. And the refeed meal can fall under, some people call it a cheat meal, treat meal, refeed meal. I don't care if this is a piece of chocolate cake, if it's an appetizer, if it's some nachos. Don't block back 6,000 calories, but if you have a meal that has an extra 3,000 calories, 1 cheat meal per week is a great way to still enjoy life, and it gives you something to work towards. Ideally, you plan this on one of your training days. That is probably one of the simplest ways to stay lean all year long. I don't know if you can keep it any more simple, but those are the primary principles and structures to put into place, and then we can sort out the details if we're not moving in the direction you want as fast as you like. Now, we can definitely get more technical with exactly how many calories, how many grams of protein, and break that all down. But as a first step, if you're just looking for a simple structure, that's the way to do it. There's a lot of different ways to skin the cat. From my experience, this approach is great because structure equals freedom. We do want a form of simplifying. We do want a form of standardization. I totally understand that calories, macros is the next step of the journey. But for busy men who just simply need to be told what to do, when to do it, without getting too sophisticated, this is the way to go. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Would you do something different? What was really helpful for you? Let me know. And don't forget, keep leveling up or you're gonna level off.